Hey, what's going on, guys? So it's the weekend, June 21st today. Just relaxing on the weekend. Got a few things done today. I'm in the neighborhood now. If you guys see, I wonder if there's any fish in here today. You got this river that goes through the neighborhood. So I'm headed down to the spring where I live, and it's a nice place to go relax. But as far as the options go, if you watch the channel, you know I sell options on Carnival Cruise Lines. So next week on the 25th of June is the earnings. So I've been getting great money, great premium the past couple weeks, but on the 25th it'll drop off after that, because either it'll go up or it'll go down. I'm hoping it'll go up, but you never know. I mean, a company can have good earnings and the stock can drop. I mean, if they think the earnings should have been better, stock will drop. But in this video I want to show you how much I made this year. It's been 6 months. My options end on the 27th of this month, so that'll be just about exactly 6 months, and I'll show you guys in a minute how much I make for this 6 months, how much I made for the year. So I'll show you guys that in 1 second. When I get to my little spot, I'll show you where I'm at right now. Pretty cool. You guys have probably seen this in some of my other videos, but this is the spring in my neighborhood. So made pretty good money this year so far. I'm very happy, actually. Last year, I think for the whole year I made like 13,000. But like I've said in other videos, the more money you make, the more capital you have, and then the more options you can sell. So you're just getting a better position every year. So you should be making more money if you don't spend it. Some people, that's what they do. They make the option money and make the premium and use that money to live on. So fortunately, I don't have to do that. So I just stack up the money and keep selling more options and making more money. So a little bit of a snowball effect there. So I'm going to show you guys how much I've made for this year selling options on Carnival Cruise Lines. And I use Carnival Cruise Lines, but you can use any stock. It really doesn't matter. I like to use a stock that doesn't move too much. You got the crypto these days, you got the tech stocks, you got pharmaceuticals, and they tend to move around a little bit more than I'd like, the stock that I use to move. I do like a little bit of volatility, but not like a commodity, that hardly moves at all, or a high dividend paying stock that doesn't move that much. So right in the middle there, where it doesn't get me in a position I don't want to be, but then I can make steady money on. So let me show you guys my numbers that I've made this year. Alright, this is a good spot. I'll show you guys. You guys have probably seen this before if you've watched my other videos. I've had it in a couple different videos. Just a nice place to come down and relax and look over my numbers here. So I'll show you the numbers I've been using. Like I said, Carnival Cruise Lines, and I'll show you here. So this is from the beginning of the year. So as you can see, all CCL, it's Carnival Cruise Lines. Started here on the 3rd of January. So that week I have all the different weeks, how much money I've made. I added up for each week, and then each sale I put right here, and then just add it all up for the year, and then see how much I made for the year. So as you can see, like the first week, 317 bucks. Pretty good week. Not bad, because I was getting 22 cents and 17 cents. As you guys, I've told you before in other videos, if you haven't seen those yet, I like to get, not during earnings, because during earnings I'll get way more money, but I like to get over 10 cents for my sales. Anything over that is gravy. So I'm working with about $100,000. So that's what I work with. I mean, I've sold a lot of options this year, but I haven't used all the money. I normally don't use all the money at all, not even close. Like the past probably few months, I've only used like 57,000 of it. The rest is in Carnival Cruise Lines, just shares. I just keep the shares. Don't do anything, don't sell any calls on them, just in case, because anything happen. I've seen it all. If a stock pops up, you know, and say you got a strike price for your calls out at 25 bucks, and some great news comes out, or they have great earnings, and it goes up to, you know, 28 bucks, and your strike price is at 25, and you don't make any more than 25 because you got to sell the options, and you get $25 a share, and meanwhile the stock is at $28 a share. So in those cases, which are very, very rare, you know, and then you could just buy back in, then you sell puts. You know, I've just learned recently it's called the wheel strategy. I watched a couple videos, and a few people have said that. I didn't know that actually, and I've been trading or selling options for years. So you don't want that to happen, so I always keep some shares on the side, just in case that happens, so I make the money on something, and then if I have to sell the shares at 25 bucks, and it's at $28, I'll just wait for a dip, because if it goes up that much, usually there is a dip. There's always going to be people that's going to take their profits. You might probably get a little dip after that, so I'll wait for that, and I might not get in at 25 again, but I can get in a little bit lower than 28 probably. And then I also have puts out where I'm just making the premium. I've got the calls out. You know, in that situation, I'll make the $25 a share, so it might go up a few bucks and I'll make money there. So you try to make money everywhere, and you try to cover yourself just in case anything happens. It's never going to be perfect, but selling options, you're always going to make the premium, so that cash goes directly into your account. So let me show you here. So this was January here. I started at the beginning of the year. Like I said, made 317 that week, and these are all the weeks I added up. 362, 330, 372. Started off pretty strong this year with the money that I have and I'm working with. 466. This was probably earnings right here, possibly. You know, because I'm getting 27 cents, 20 cents. It might have been actually. 553 had to be during earnings. 370, and watch, it'll drop off like 406, 491, and then 119, 112, 46, 352. So this, I add them all up for the year. So as you can see, it builds. Started at 198 bucks for the year. In April, I got up to 4,720. That's just profit, just premium. And then this is last month, so May, June. So I add them all up, and at the 6-month mark where I'm at right now, my profits for the year are $9,114. Had a few amazing weeks. If you've seen the last few videos, I made some really good money. So $9,114 for the year so far. So within 6 months. So it's pretty good. You know, last year I made 13,000 something total, I believe. So this year I'm up to 9,000 already. So if I can stay on track, you know, I can get to 18,000. So got 6 more months, got 2 more earnings for the year, and those are where you make the really good money, during earnings or right before earnings. So I'll get through this, we'll see what the stock does, and keep on playing every week, making that money. So just want to make this short video and let you guys see how much I've made selling the options, the puts and the calls on Carnival Cruise Lines this year. And I want to get a few more stocks eventually to sell options on. You can be playing off the earnings and selling those options during the earnings more than, you know, every quarter, more than 4 times a year, which is great, you know, you can, because that's when you get the good money. But You don't want to find a stock that moves too much, you know, little ups and downs, but in an up direction. And if it does go down, you can always recover from that. Not a big deal. But you want a stock that you are pretty darn sure it's going to be up the long term. So then you can just wait around and wait for recovery if you need it. So that's how much I've made for the year so far. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe and please like the videos. I appreciate it so much, and I love when you ask questions. Had a few people asking me some questions in the comments, and I really enjoy that. Getting back to people, answering questions, or you know, them telling me what they're selling options on. It makes it more fun for everybody. So have a great weekend, and appreciate you all watching, and I'll get back to you on Monday, Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, depending, and I'll sell more options in my extremely hot truck at work, and hopefully make some decent money these coming weeks. So have a great one. Talk to you soon. Bye.